If you still haven't got Xenophage, do it. It's one of the quests that are actually worth doing. Even though I'm not a big fan of quests, sometimes I just don't even get weapons because it just isn't up my alley, and it took me a minute to even get Xenophage, but when I finally got it, I realized how many build options this gun opens up, and that's what we're going to talk about today is a Xenophage build, Universal Guardian, and Universal Subclass, so use it on whatever you want. It is going to be all revolving around Xenophage, a primary shoddy, and a fusion rifle. If you don't have Xenophage or haven't seen it before, it's basically a hard-ass hitting LMG. It holds 13 rounds. Stock, it holds around 28 rounds. Reserves, 32 and then 34. It's really good and makes it possible to rock dual special ammos because by the time you run out of shotgun and fusion, you just whip out Xenophage and go to town, and then because of the build and the natural ammo economy of the game, it allows you to keep up ammo for your shotgun and your fusion rifle. We'll talk more about that as the build goes along. We're going to talk about a taking charge and shield break charge version, and then also we're going to talk about a quick charge version, but we're going to start it off with a taking / shield break charge first. If you want to build your stats statistically proven for better speed kill combat, it's going to be recovery, then discipline, then mobility, then intellect, then strength, and then resilience last because it hardly does anything for you in PvE combat that you will notice. Now moving on to the helmet first, it doesn't matter your affinity here because you're going to have to use a special ammo finder which is 4 points, high energy fire which is another 4 points, and then you have 2 points left, so one for enhanced scatter projectile targeting, and then for that minor resist, it's going to go with another minor resist we'll talk about later, but make sure you have those on there because you're rocking dual specials and you need at least one special finder. Now moving on to the arm piece, another minor resist that we have 2 on. When you're doing higher tier combat, they have to be stacked in 2s to get any benefit out of them. And then you get a loader for Xenophage and your fusion rifle. And then the most important item, Wrath of Rasputin. So every time you kill around 5 or 6 enemies or 1 yellow bar, it's going to make a cell, and it makes Xenophage kind of like the super of your weapons. So when you run out of fusion and shotgun ammo, that's when you're going to pull out Xenophage, and when you're starting to make those cells and killing a bunch of targets, by the time you run out of Xenophage ammo, the game's natural drop rate of special ammo is going to refill your shotgun and fusion back up, on top of having that ammo finder that's also going to be doing that. But that's what makes Xenophage such an important weapon to have on this build, because the more enemies you kill, the greater chance of ammo coming back to your primary and your special, or your special in this case. So the fact that it kills enemies quick, has a ton of ammo, and can make cells that when you blow those cells up, kills a ton of targets, is going to greater your chance of getting more special ammo back. So by the time you run out of Xenophage ammo, you pretty much filled up your shotgun and your fusion back again, start slaying again, and then repeat the cycle all over. Run out of shotgun and fusion, go back to Xenophage, go back to making cells, and then go back to shotgun and fusion. It's a perfect combination. Now on to the chest piece. So there's 2 versions. This is the champion version, Inferno Whip if you're using a solar subclass. If you're using Void, you can use Overload, and then Countercharge, and then stacks on stacks no matter what version you're using. So stacks on stacks is going to give you charge of light times 2 instead of times 1. That way you have 1 for protective light, which you're going to see on the leg piece, and then 1 for high energy fire. And then like I said, moving on to the leg piece, you're going to have a special ammo scavenger because you're rocking dual specials. That way you maximize the amount of ammo you're getting, and then always traction in running gun combat, especially with a shotgun. Now moving on to the class item, it's going to be another major resist, special finisher for sure, and then either taking charge or shield break charge depending on the activity that you're going to be doing. So use your own discretion on which one you think you need to use. So if you're doing like nightmare hunts or something like that, there's a lot of shielded enemies, you might get more benefit out of shield break charge. But doing something else like, contact public event, you might get better play out of taking charge. It just really all depends. If you're on a hunter, I would choose enhanced bomber. You could also do light reactor or recuperation, just really kind of whatever you want to play with on that last spot. But it's really kind of whatever you want to use. If you're using Benevolent Dawn, enhanced bomber works really great with that as well. For the next part of the video, it's going to be the second version based around quick charge. There's a little bit of a variation to this one on the chest piece and on kind of the helmet and the way that the perks are all like changed around. Because we don't have room for taking charge or shield break charge, there has to be some changes that are going to be made. So like I said, it's going to be based around Devour, Feed the Void, and Insatiable. So if you're not familiar with Bottom Tree Void, that's what this is going to be all based around. But like I said, both of these builds are Universal Guardian and Subclass. I just really liked it with Devour on Warlock. An example of how I've kind of changed the stats, because I am going to be using it with Devour, it's on a 7 recovery because of the Devour perk, and I also have an 8 tier grenade because of the Devour perk again. That means that every time I get 2 kills with the shotgun I'm using, the Hawthorne Shoddy, which has Demolitionist on it, that gives me my grenade back after 2 kills. But kills with other weapons will vary depending on the kind of ad that it is because of how they changed Devour a while back. But now starting off with the helmet, the same helmet that I used last time, except this time stacks on stacks is on the helmet. I'll have screenshots about all this at the end of the video that kind of explains everything, so you can just refer to that screenshot whenever you're going and making this build yourself. But this had a lot of grenade energy, so I chose that helmet, and I had to move stacks on stacks to the helmet because of my chest piece now. Now for the arm piece, I have quick charge, and I only have room for one loader, and I chose it to be the machine gun, so I can unlock the second perk of quick charge, and also Xenophage needs help with the reload speed. I'm using weapons like main ingredient with auto-loading holster. Red dot micro is my favorite type of sight. You can farm the main ingredient, the modern version, in the menagerie right now, so it's not going to be the 1060 cap version, it'll be the newer version. But you can also use hollow words and a variety of type of fusion rifles. I just like the auto-loading holster to go with the demolitionist shotgun, so I never had to worry about reload speed. Here's an example of this using Devour right now in the menagerie during the mockery, which is kind of hard to stay out in the area because your health drains constantly when you're doing this kind of event. But because of Devour, I can just keep running and gunning, never have to reload anything, and every time I throw the grenade, it's also going to reload. I can make cells doing this, so it's just an example of how beneficial Devour can be, just in situations like this, but really anywhere in the universe. Since I'm not using taking or shield break charged, I now have high energy fire on the chest piece, and I'm using a solar affinity chest piece. That way I can get fusion reserves and large arm reserves, so I have even more ammo before I run out, and that way it benefits Xenophage that much more, and the economy of the game naturally feeding me back. Same leg piece from the first version, still has protective light on it, which I think is a staple on most of my builds because it's just an important perk to have in run and gun combat. But the difference on the bond mark or cloak on this one is if you're using the void subclass, I recommend Oppressive Darkness, special finisher, and then another major resist, so 2 minor, 2 major resist, and now Wrath of Rasputin is moved to the class item piece. By rocking dual specials, there's a lot of cool combos that you can do, so here's just the stock version, just an arc weapon mixed with the Hawthorne Shoddy. It would take 8 Hawthorne just with the stock version of these weapons. Now if we do something like Disruption Break and add in that 50% bonus damage plus the Charged Light perk, it's pretty damn beast because it does a lot of damage. And you can see right here that it took half the shotgun shots compared to 8, it's now only 4 when we use Disruption Break and High Energy Fire. In this clip, I'm just using High Energy Fire, so 20% buff, and you can see that it's taking 7 shots instead of the 8 that it would have taken, so it's not that much of a big gap. And then if we mix in Oppressive Darkness and Disruption Break, you see it only takes 3, but obviously the grenade was also burning as well. Things that won't work is the Empower Melee and High Energy Fire, and you can't stack High Energy, Disruption Break, and Oppressive all together. It'll only pick one or the other. I didn't want to include the entire Nightfall that I'm going to show you here, so I broke it up into sections, but I just wanted to show you an example of how you can rock the dual specials with Xenophage, and ammo is never a problem. There was only one issue the entire Nightfall, and that was at the boss battle when I'm straight up just doing boss damage. Eventually I'm going to run out because, doing so much boss damage and you have to use your shotgun or your fusion rifle, so eventually you're naturally going to run out. But it really wasn't that big a deal the entire Nightfall, especially when you knock in the Xenophage and the cells. It's always going to make ammo, and you're going to make a ton of cells throughout this entire thing because every kill you get with the cell contributes to the next production of a cell by the next time you get a solar kill. So you have a ton of cells because of that, and when you kill them, your ammo finder is going to be kicking in. Every 2 kills you get, you're charged with light, so you have the ability to proc Protective Light or High Energy Fire, depending on if you get your shield busted or not. So it's kind of a safety measure. But if you were to ask me what my favorite build in the game right now is, especially between now and Beyond Light, this is probably going to be my Beyond Light launch build because I doubt that I'm going to be doing Grandmaster the first day. And this is a great, just general, universal, just, do anything type build, do Nightfalls, do whatever, but it's strictly for ad clear, so I have nothing for champions, you know what I mean? So unless I was using Overload Grenade, I pretty much have nothing else to go towards champions, so I'll have to rely on teammate to pop shields or stagger. But by having a shotgun and fusion rifle, I could destroy, especially with Xenophage, I could destroy a champion as soon as they get busted or staggered for a second. And you can see right here that there's ammo laying all over the place because of the cell kills and the natural just kills in general. But this is literally all that I put on anymore the past few weeks. If you see me out in the universe anywhere and you inspect me, it's pretty much going to be this build all the time, no matter what Guardian I'm on, whether I'm on my Titan or my Hunter. I really like using this with the Doomfang pauldrons as well, but at the same time, I like to have all these other perks on my armor, and if I use an exotic with any of this armor, it kind of breaks everything else that it has going for it, and I have to have Wrath of Rasputin, and it took me a second to realize if I wanted to have a Charge Harvester or stacks on stacks, but it's totally worth it to have the option of high energy and protective light every time you get double kills. It just makes it that much better. And then when you get 2 kills by having devour on, you get your grenade back with your shotgun, which are oppressive darkness grenades, so you always got bonus damage to crush any kind of target. If you throw oppressive darkness and then shoot something with Xenophage, that's a shitload of damage. Xenophage already hits hard enough. And then if you're using Vortex Grenade, which is any kind of grenade you can stand inside of, such as a Thermite or a Vortex, or any kind of grape-style grenade, I always go for those options for situations just like that. Especially with Oppressive Darkness, you have targets collapsing on top of you, you can throw it at your feet, stand inside of it, and then you can just destroy them a lot easier. This is the part of the Nightfall that I had ammo economy trouble, but not really, because as soon as I'm about to run out, the first kill that I get drops heavy ammo. So you see how the game and its economy times out, and then I have Xenophage ammo all over again, and when I start slaying with Xenophage, it then procs the game to start dropping more special ammo. So now I'm back in the game with my special ammo again, and I can put Xenophage up, or I can keep using Xenophage either or, and make cells to kill the rest of the targets. But you'll see by the end of this Nightfall, I pretty much have all my ammo full right when the boss is dead. So even if there would have been more targets, which I made sure that I killed most of the targets, I think there was like 1 ad I didn't kill. But anyway, sorry if it feels like I'm drawing the video out or whatever. I'm not trying to do that. I just had a feeling that I'd probably get some comments of being like, you know, what about ammo economy and things like that. So I wanted to show an example of me just doing one of the, you know, millions of things that I do when I play the game, and how I'm not running out of ammo, and even the time that I did, the natural, you know, ammo economy and how things drop in the game. When you use it with Xenophage, just fills it right back up. As you can see, my ammo right here at the end, pretty much have all of it back. But here's where you can take a screenshot of the build. If you join the Discord in the About section of my channel, you can actually download a higher quality version of this. Go to the Discord, scroll down to the Rustopholis channel, and you click the download button there. But other than that, Guardian, we are now at the end of another Rustopholis build video. If you want to subscribe for more content, I highly appreciate it. Join the Beast Squad by hitting the join button. You can also PayPal at paypal.me/Rustopholis, or get something tangible like a souvenir or keepsake out of all the campaigns that I have in the description. Definitely check those out. I've never been too much into merch in the past, but I started putting a little more time and creativity towards it to give something back to you bros, so we can all help each other and support the cause of becoming Beast. But aside from that, thanks for tuning in once again. My name's Rustopholis, and I'll see you all in the next video next time.
In space.